In a beloved S-shaped strip of land, Vietnam is a multi-ethnic country with 54 distinct ethnic groups living and fighting together for national construction and defense for thousands of years. In this historical process, culture has generated an invisible power for the country. The combination of 54 ethnic groups has created Vietnamese culture as a colourful, bright, but simple and close picture. Each group represents a unique colour gamut, contributing to the flawless picture. When visiting Vietnam Museum of Ethnology and the windy capital of the ancient northernmost Vietnam base, people can feel great happiness as if they were going along the length of the country. The Southern culture, a large and beautiful area with a temperate climate. The residents of 19 provinces are the assemblage of many ethnic groups. Dang Nai River system and the Mekong River system are like the big milky stream, which have an abundance of fertile alluvium with various fishery resources every year. It is also an important base for residents to build a river civilization. The space of Southern Delta region culture is represented in an area of 4 meters squared, introducing to the main temple of Khmer Pagoda in Tra Vinh with the rate of 50%, which is the highlight of introducing the cultural life of residents in the Southern Delta. The system of landscape around the temple includes the architecture of temple, containing the skeletons of Khmer in the Pagoda, Tra Vinh province, the architecture gate of Khmer Pagoda in Tra Vinh, southern cultural space in the form of Hic in Khe Sanh district, Sac Chang province, canal systems with the monkey bridges in Long Phu district, Sac Chang province. Southern Khmer Temple is the architecture which is one of the high aesthetic value. The temple is also the sacred space converge economic, political, cultural and artistic factors. The architecture of the pagoda meets not only the demand for religious and spiritual, but also the demand for aesthetic of people. The Khmer in Southern regarded the contribution to build a temple as the agreements to ensure the happiness for present life and eternal future of each human. Khmer people did not spare labor and precious materials to build a temple, so the temple became the cultural center of the hamlet. Coming to the residence of Khmer people, it is very easy to see the contrast between the simple houses of people and a massive palatial temple, which was not displayed as a work of art in the plain. It proves that the worship of the Buddha does not depend on the wealth and economic conditions. People who always have positive direction and high determination to do good things will be given the blessing. The main temple is the place to worship Buddha, the protection, Nyik Ta, and God Tien, Tu Vada. The main temple is the most dignified and sacred place in the pagoda, which is the place to chant of the monks and direct the compassion to the Buddha. The main temple was designed following particular architecture with the roof carved in dragon-tailed shape. The pinnacles was in shape of Zom mountain and Naga snake god, was curved in 4-corner roof tops. Krot bird statue and Eva bird statue were designed as the bracket of the main temple roof. The main temple's surrounding wall was decorated by a pattern of reincarnation cycle with the meaning of life and a movement of survival rule. The main temple of Pagoda is located along the east-west and in the central area. The building must be proper. Certain dimensions, such as length, are double as width. Height is equal to length. Roof and trunk are 2 equal parts. The area of the door frame, houses and shrines must also be complied with a standard. All temples have corridors around. The main temple has 4 main doors in the east-west with 7 or 9 windows in the south and the north, which are the most basic principles of the Khmer Pagoda architecture. Khmer people believe that pagoda towards east will imply that Buddha dwells in the west and bless for eastward. The architectural structure of the main temple is 2 rows of precious wooden columns, which are very high at the middle, that create the high roof at the mid of the main temple. The main column, the adjacency and beams, which connect to the surrounding wall, form the second and third roof next to veranda column to cover corridor. The architectural structure of the main temple of Khmer Pagoda, which includes 3 layers, roof and roof corners, shaped dragon's tail, create a soft and flexible sense, lightly and comfortable space. The main hall of the temple is referred to as an isosceles triangle. The Khmer believe that triangle is the most perfection, which contains the flawless and absolute beauty. Triangle is a symbol of the number 3. The Hindu supreme genie also has 3 forms: Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. Buddhism, the triple gem, has 3: Trarafona, Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. The world has 3 components: Vuswar Bhuvas. Time has 3 Trikila: past, present and future. Triangles also associated with Hindu sacred flame, the Buddha replaced by inner flame. It is also the knowledge, enlightenment and the cancellation of the outer casing. Therefore, the number 3 in particularly and odd numbers in generally are associated respectfully with the Buddha. The number of windows and columns in the temple are 3, 5, 7 or 9. The Buddhist Altar has a 3-story parasol which presents the triple gem. A 5-story parasol expresses 5 embodiments of the Buddha, or a 7-story parasol shows that humans have to undergo 7 lifetimes, and number 9 is the space of pagoda. Overall, Khmer pagodas in southern area are unique architectural buildings. So far, although it has been changed, it still retains its own identity as well as national identity. It expresses the emotion, the desire to harmony in absolute flawless beauty, the enlightenment and the cancellation of the outer casing. In the perspective of art, the pagoda is a unique architectural work of art of the Khmer. In the perspective of spiritual, the temple is a pinnacle of the religious sublimation. The temple has proven the concept of Buddhist outlook on life and world of Theravada Buddhism, which strongly affect on spiritual life of each Khmer person. A long time ago, Khmer people in southern had a diverse culture and a strong sense of ethnic identities. So far, the value of the cultural treasure has not changed. The clearest expression of Khmer Mekong River Delta is the Theravada Buddhist temple, an architectural work of art. Besides, the main function is satisfied the aesthetic needs of residents. The temple also has function of being a place for believers undertaking religious activities, a place to spiritual practice of the monks, a place for the Upasaka refuge in the Triple Gem to come to the Buddha realm. The temple was also the firmly fulcrum for the development of Buddhism and preserved traditional custom of the ethnicity because the religion festivals and traditional festivals of ethnic groups are celebrated in this sacred place. Therefore, ethnic handwriting was maintained and developed. It's said that the temple is a school of the Khmer. The content of doctrine contains many humanistic values. Buddhism has strongly influenced on the spiritual life of Khmer people. One of the most profound effects is in the moral education field. We would like to show a religious feature of Khmer people in southern area. When entering the museum, visitors can see the surrounding wall with pattern of reincarnation cycle, the miniature architecture of statue. The visitors also see the architecture of Khmer Pagoda, which emits a splendid yellow with 3 pumpkin wires on the roof. One wire refers to spirituality, one wire refers to religion, and one wire refers to a story of Buddha who tamed a 3-head snake. Snake is a particular feature of Khmer Pagoda, which creates a formal and spiritual Buddhism, generous humanities that tamed people. In the pagoda, when visitors see the whole pagoda, they will see a painting of Shakyamuni Buddha from Karya to enlightenment and saving Sattva. All the statues of Buddha in pagoda have different shapes, but they both have 3 postures: Karya, enlightenment, and saving Sattva. The layout of Buddha's statue in different postures differs from that of northern pagodas, which is called Mahayana, or the northern school of Zen sect. Northern pagodas worship 18 arhats. Buddha with different decoration, the paintings of process of Buddhist Karya. The rituals associate with cycle of human's life and the spiritual activities of pagoda in the north or in the south, which presents the different aspirations and daily life activities of each region. Since building the pagoda, we organized a Samyoyana ceremony, putting the soul into the statue. It is a particular feature of the rituals in Khmer Pagoda in the south. Khmer ethnic have their own spoken language and handwriting, which were formed very early. The people found it very suitable for conserving and developing handwriting at the pagoda. Besides learning official language, Khmer children also have to learn Khmer language at the temple. In pagoda, the monks taught not only the Buddhist doctrine, but also math, literature, history, and linguistics, known as Pali. The pagoda has functions of educating knowledge, improving understanding, as well as educating human morality to people in the area. When the disagreements or conflicts occurred in Khmer people's hamlets, the parentage and families always come to the temple to discuss and ask the monks for advice, and then the problem will be resolved by the monks. Moreover, the temple also released people out of the social evils and re-educate misled people to become good people, and they can return to their family and community. It can be said that the temples, especially the monks, have contributed to create a healthy social relations and relieve the stress on human psychology, clean the spiritual atmosphere of the community. Since many centuries, the temple was seen as a spiritual force, a moral foundation, a Khmer morality which contributed to keep peace and stability for society. The temple is also a sacred place for celebrating the festivals. With Khmer people, festivals have an important role in life. It strongly affects on the spiritual and physical activities, and it takes people a long time to join in festival. The Khmer always do good things, so the festival is an opportunity for Buddhists to chant and do good things, follow the word Bon Tien, which refers to Khmer festival and carnival. The Khmer are strongly influenced by Buddhism, so Khmer festivals were also affected by Buddhism. Both the Buddhist festival and the folk festivals were organized according to Buddhist rites. During the holidays, temples are the most crowded places. Temples appear in all the Khmer festivals. More exactly, the temple is a sacred place for celebration of festivals, such as the Kal Cham, Thmei festival, traditional Tet of Khmer, Danta ceremony, grandparents worship, Okam Bok festival, moon worship, Masna Katien, robe offering ceremony, putting Buddha statue in place ceremony. The festivals at the temple are a good environment to perform the traditional arts. These types of traditional arts, such as Duke, Robam, Ramwang and Sarawan dance, are performed by the professional artist or amateur performers to bless according to the content of festival. The musical performances were fully reflected the Vietnamese culture and national identities and affirmed the cultural level of the community. The main temple is the prototype, are scaled in proportion of 50% of the main temple in Khmer Pagoda, which had been built in 1343 calendar, in 1887 Buddhist calendar, after 13 lifetimes of Ka-chaired monk at Tra Vinh town, Tra Vinh province. The celebration of putting the Buddhist statue in place, inauguration temple ceremony, performance of pentatonic orchestra, Khmer dance are taking place at the temple. The Khmer have Moors than they will be cremated after death. They took some head bone ash in a small jar and brought into the Tower of Pagoda to lean on Buddha. Keep away from demons. Thus, Khmer people often said, regardless you live or die, should come to the pagoda to lean on Buddha. This tower is scaled in proportion of 50% of the tower in Diep Tak Pagoda, which has been built in 1519 in Tra Vinh town, Tra Vinh province. Southern Hick has a lot of trees, rivers and canals with plenty of shrimp and fish, and the alluvial fertile fields has become the economic centre of the country. This place is a hometown of the river civilization, as well as the place of green fruits with the boat conveying a lot of fruits. With the attractive scenery and fresh air, the tourists can stand on the bridge and take a view of the tiled houses, the ancient temples that are hidden under a canopy of old trees.